Now, let's throw it to the McDonald's Champs League and the boys at the desk.
That we will. The final day of the first week here at the OPL for Split 2.
Correct.
Chiefs up against Direwolves.
2 of 2 so far.
2 of 2 so far. It's going to be an interesting one, and I think the analysis desks are pretty on point when it comes down to early game is going to be a big focal point for sort of dictating how mid and late game do shape up. Are we going to see some late game chaos? Are we going to see some shenanigans where there are 3 inhibitors down?
I
They can't
disagree.
close the game out?
I think the analyst couch are a bunch of idiots and don't know anything. And they also don't have their microphones on.
You're
so
making
they
them
can't
walk away now.
respond.
They're upset. They're
Good.
gone.
I'm hoping they're upset. No, this will be a fun game. I said this was my game of the day. Obviously, before Legacy showed up and created a big upset, and
They did.
props to Legacy. But I think for Direwolves, they said this is their opportunity to kind of make worlds or prove themselves that they are in contention to be able to do that. Because I think a lot of people would be looking towards the boys in blue in Chiefs Esports Club to be kind of that leader domestically.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the pressure is on Raze actually at the moment. Because he seems to be the catalyst in this early game. Going up against Only needs to have that impressive performance. Want to see him back on something like Lee Sin or Rek'Sai as well. Really try and dictate the pace of this game.
Yeah, definitely. I really like what Raze was able to, put out in that Lee Sin performance. And you were talking a bit about how, Koreans are known for having these kind of pocket picks up their sleeves. Maybe a cheeky Lee Sin and Elise.
Yep.
Something that can get aggressive, can have an execution style, and just have an omnipresence on the map at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side, for the Chiefs Esports Club, it's going to be an unchanged lineup. They will be fielding Swiper here into BioPanther. Certainly a matchup that BioPanther seems to like. And it's going to be Aurelia left up again.
Yeah. Team's starting to really respect what Yuumi can do. And now we're seeing first bans, actually, in the first rotation of them. An exact identical response as in the series beforehand.
Yep. And I think this is a pretty good response. In my opinion, this should work, especially if you play something like the Fiora or the Camille top lane. You should be able to put the Sylas in the mid lane. Game priority should then be able to use Sejuani to go through mid lane towards top lane, in fact, ganks, and, be able to take this Aurelia down. I like the strategy. It was mixed executed. Last game, Ryoma was able to counter gank way too many times in that situation. They weren't clean on any of their dives. So, hopefully BioPanther as well as Raze show that they can really set up and put this top lane camp on.
This is the Ezreal that Raze played so well on yesterday, and with the Yuumi being denied, they are going to take a page out of Order's book and go for the Lux combination as well, which caters to what you're looking to try and do. No Sona, no Yuumi, we want poke. Sit back in your lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually haven't watched scrims, but we hear the coaches talk a lot when they came on about the scrim groups they're in, and I would assume that Order has been scrimming Chiefs because this looks like a very Order-esque comp, and sometimes you create your own mini metas, especially when you haven't seen the major regions play. And now without support being picked up, Nautilus already banned, Yuumi banned, Lux there. If you just take away Kai'Sa, potentially the Galio as well, Rakan Galio, then what goes with that Kai'Sa? Really not many champions up and available right now for Totoro.
Yeah, it makes it quite difficult for that bottom lane to really find any response. We've seen aggressive supports try and go toe-to-toe against the likes of a poke-heavy composition, and for the most part, they've been shut down, and convincingly too. Skarner taken off. Galio is the ban as you wanted to see from the Chiefs.
I want to see an Olaf ban. Show me the Olaf ban. Only's a really good Olaf player. Olaf at the moment, super strong. Would just create such a brawl-heavy environment. Not a lot of hard CC, but when you got Aurelia, Olaf, you kind of don't need that. Gets banned away.
And exact same bans as what Legacy did in game number 1, or say game 1 of yesterday. They banned out this in the second rotation, the Olaf and the Skarner. Really trying to limit what is available when it comes to jungling.
Rakan. I assume this is going to be a Rakan ban. Lux is really good when she gets to poke and set up in lane. However, double CC coming from 2 directions, Rakan plus Sejuani probably would be enough. And it actually isn't. I expect this to just be a Rakan pickup for Totoro in the bottom lane. Ooh.
Okay.
That's really interesting to me.
Frozen Venom in the works.
Does. So Lux is an Aftershock runner, right? And you can, if you're going to get hit by that, so Thresh gets locked in his animation as he's throwing out the hook. So if the hook looks like it's about to hit you, it's very easy to just actually bind him, trade Aftershocks, and be quite tanky in that scenario.
They're going for it.
This is an all-in lane that Katsuri and Totoro are going to have to play incredibly well. We actually saw them die multiple times in the bottom lane versus Crazy and Prater.
Is there a situation where Direwolves think we pick Camille as well and we just have this complete isolation, stay in my box, stay in this kind of like boxing match arena, if you will, of Doom?
Yeah, absolutely. That could be the case. However, picking it into something like a Renekton is going to be tough. So we're looking for only a jungler left for the Chiefs member. We'll see whether he goes... I mean, I think that you need to have some AP up there. I'm expecting maybe Elise or Gragas for only. Otherwise, like, I mean, Raze is going to build AP eventually. You know, he's going to go towards something like a Luden's Echo. But that is a heck of a lot of scaling on top side of the map.
Yeah. Swipe has shown us already what he can do day one with the Renekton. Great in the meta as it stands. And Hecarim, not the highest priority on bans, but definitely up there when it comes to how strong he can be. With the Predator that we commonly see from the Skarner, this is kind of scary. Can run pretty much rampant over the likes of a Kaiser.
Oh, we got a top lane Tom Kench. Thomas Kench hit Summoner's Rift. The changes to him were so interesting. It made his Devourer on Champion so much better. Made him like worse in the support scenario, but we haven't yet seen it in Oceania as a top laner. Something that Biopanther used to play quite a fair amount of. I wonder whether we see Glacial Augment. I know Parbu's been running around with Proto Belt Tom Kench in solo queue, which is annoying and should not happen. And Jackson Pavone, you should be ashamed of yourself, but this is an interesting pickup.
It is. The Frogman is here.
Yep.
We'll be looking to try and lock members in place. I suppose in a similar function works a little bit like the Skarner. You're looking to try and take somebody out of the mix.
Yep.
And try and even out the balance with a 4v5, because we know that Chiefs, they want to come at you, they want to fight. I mean, let's take back note for 2 seconds. Raze was super big in game number 1 yesterday against the likes of Mammoth. He was 9-1, right? There were a situation when the Sejuani managed to land a massive Glacial Prison, 2 assassins, clean house. I'm seeing a very similar situation again. Raze definitely has to be on the ball, not being a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to get no protection this game, right? He's going to maybe get a shield from Ayla, and that's really it. Everyone else on the Chiefs lineup needs to be able to dive Katsuri, needs to be able to get onto the backline to impact kind of the map in the way that they want to, which means Raze just needs to be very aware. You know, he's got 3-4 damage dealers apart from himself on this lineup, so can play this game very slowly, very safely. And I feel like as long as he avoids kind of Raze and Get Back on the opposite lineup, and this is going to be really fun because we have Raze and we have Raze.
Well, that was the point that I was waiting to bring up during the actual broadcast itself, but we're going to say it during this part here. I'm sure at stages, if it's Raze up against Raze, you're just going to figure it out on your own.
It's going to be really annoying. So the Chiefs 80 carry, who's called Raze, his name's Quinny K. So, you know, maybe lean on it a little bit more heavily this game. But I expect just a fan out to come across here. Ignite picked up for only. That's an aggressive rune choice.
Okay. No Ghost, no Flash.
No Predator either.
Just damage.
Conqueror
Literally
Ignite.
just damage.
Yep, absolutely. So only looking to get aggressive early on. Also, Recalls goes for this weird swap over into the Sweeper. We've seen a lot. Actually saw it a lot out of Tarzan over in Griffin. I think popularized it. Shernfire does it a lot in solo queue as well. When I'm watching his stream, and you see both junglers do it here.
Are we going to see the invade? They do have the Lux. But the same could be said also for the likes of Direwolves with the Fresh. Wouldn't expect it. I would prefer to see a more passive setup.
Well, what we've got here is like a very quick jungler in Hecarim. Jungles really, really quickly, especially on the multiple camps. That's why we see the ward placed on Raptors versus Sejuani, who, if gets a melee leash, you know, as I keep talking about, stacking up that E quicker, can also be incredibly fast. Raze already procs the first blood, not kill of the game, however, and gets himself a stack there for the Kleptomancy. Unfortunately for him, no item.
Mid lane's going to be an interesting one, though. I'm not going to derail in the top lane this time. Should be a little bit of an easier situation for the Silas.
I'm really interested in this lane. Who wins out of Thomas Kench and Renekton?
This is your first time seeing it in pro play?
Yep, absolutely. So I don't know. I assume in the all-in, Tom Kench wins, because he wins most all-ins with his W. Acquires his taste. Oh, it's beautiful to watch, isn't it?
Lobster, shellfish. If you got an allergy, a bit of a bad time.
I assume he doesn't, though, because he's like a seafood chef. That would be the worst job.
That'd be the worst. That's a nice little bit of
hook is
bloat
on.
there. The combine between both the Lux and the Ezreal. The shield is there, but Not really going to mitigate. It's going to mitigate the after effect, if anything. So trade actually working out, arguably, in favor of Direwolves.
How did that hit? That was like, it literally looked like it hit a minion that was right in front of Katsuri and just, you know, procs the nice Klepto there. Top lane. Meanwhile, Biopanther not flashing.
Flash for flip for Devour. Pops him out, spits him then. That's first blood.
Yeah, that's really nicely done from Bio. We said kind of the all-in there. He had already burnt his flash off screen, beg my pardon. Swiper has to flash away as well, and that is a lot of distance made up there.
They committed for the kill, and they are rewarded justly. Get back is out of mana, and will need to get back very shortly. Does have a TP to get himself back in, as opposed to Claire not having that. Has gone for the Ignite, so really a lot of aggression from the Chiefs.
Ooh. Totoro in the bottom lane actually gets sent back here. Seeing no summoner spells burnt, just must have been a bind landing. And you can see already Ayla and Raze pressuring in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and that's the aggression I'm talking about. You know, you got double buffs on this Hecarim, you got the Ignite in mid, but then the bottom lane, just with that poker, is just so damn frustrating, and it becomes a situation of we had the hard engage with a flash. You can see that flash had to be used by Totoro. Not able to find the situation that need to equalize things out.
And actually no shop here from Biopanther, even though he was able to pick up the assist for First Blood. That means a slight item advantage here with the refillable potion plus the bead for the Renekton. See whether he goes back on this shop. Should have himself something like a Balmy Cinder, you would hope. To be able to come back in lane and try and bully a little bit more. Yeah, it does have 900 gold. There you go.
Nice bit of an item spike to get himself back into lane.
Ooh,
Speaking of bottom lane, there is a tier now online, so a tier versus just the singular Doran's Blade.
Yeah, and I think this is really nice from Raze. He actually takes the tier shop and is going to be able to walk back. Ayla, meanwhile, is top side of Summoner's Rift, so this is going to catch Raze out.
That's a lockdown. They got Chiefs only coming on in as well, and a lot of damage to follow things up. 3 members in place. The stun is good for Irelia. The kill is confirmed by Claire. Chiefs get themselves back on the board.
Yeah, really nicely done there from Ayla. I mean, we called it. Raze doesn't teleport back to lane, doesn't put himself under pressure, instead just going to catch this big wave. They know that without Flash, Totoro are going to really struggle to impact the bottom lane. So just getting on the map nice and early, and we'll be able to pick up that kill. So Juani burnt the Flash in top lane, and you can see now down 21 CS. There's multiple jungle camps just consistently being stolen away here by Only.
And you mentioned it, you know, Only on the Hecarim will clear very, very quickly. Level 5 to level 3.
Mm-hmm. Finally goes back, heads towards a warrior enchant as well. So yeah, really nicely done. Swiper. Oh, that hurts.
A chef with a vengeance. That's what I'm seeing from this one here. Can't wait for level 6.
And this is interesting, because this is something that I've always thought that Sharp was really good at, and that is like innovation within League of Legends. And you can see already, you know, game number 2 puts his top laner on a very new pick. Once again, haven't really seen this played all that much internationally or domestically. Has been showing up in solo queue, as I mentioned, but giving Biopanther the nod. And so far, it seems to be a pretty good lane for the Tahm Kench.
And they'll need it, because as it stands right now, the other 3 lanes in the jungle, mid.
Oh, I don't know whether actually they were able to spot Raze there. He's in behind. Keeps in trouble.
Flash. Doesn't seem to matter at this stage, because Elliot will get out of harm's way, gets the lantern, gets out of harm's way. Get back. Does, however, actually equal out the mid lane. That's a massive pickup given the item deficit.
Solo kills Claire there. Wasn't able to see. He's down 10 CS, but obviously teleported back into lane and just able to win the 1v1 straight up. So just teleports back in. Claire dives forward, has a minion wave on his side. However, with the Aurelia ultimate, just able to get the slowdown. Claire doesn't want to just walk through the ult. Maybe he couldn't. Would have taken too much damage, Claire thinks.
Down some items, does a shop, comes back, and, well, I mean, talk about impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's a huge deal right now, because kind of looked like bottom lane, the push was always going to be there. Mid lane, Claire's a very good Aurelia player. Actually played it a lot at Origin for the Melbourne side. And you can see, was 10 CS up in the lane, looked like he had complete control, but then Get Back just solo kills him.
Literally my talking point beforehand, mid lane, jungle, and bottom lane were looking so good for the side of Chiefs. I mean, Get Back does find that moment of misery.
Yeah, this is rough for Katsuri. You can see right now that it's actually going to be Thresh on top side of Summoner's Rift. Swiper just backs away completely, and they're going to be able to pick up multiple plates bottom lane. You know, now Totoro has to make that trip all the way back down. And actually, Katsuri just shopped, so that's going to be at least probably 3 plates going down in the bottom lane.
Looking to be that way. There's a heavy priority of members from the Direwolves top side, but there's 4 wards. 2 of them are pink, all for this little dragon here.
Yeah, and I like the play from the Chiefs. I mean, very well scouted there from Swiper. Will lose himself, you know, wave and a half, as it looked like it was a freeze in the top lane. However, with no Rift Herald. Oh, Claire.
At the moment, Claire jumps out of dodge for that one there. And Drake is picked up. Direwolves looking to try and seize an opportunity to try and punish, but not going to happen.
Just a flash for a flash. See, Get Back actually used his in that gank as well. Think that he maybe should have just let Claire flash away and taken the advantage. However, now Ray's teleporting back into bottom lane. Actually, Claire goes in.
Claire wants more. He wants to come back in, but he gets absolutely better out as Raze joins the fight, supports the boys. He's got double buffs, and he is now giving Get Back the head start that he needs to really unlock the Silas.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, kind of inexcusable from Claire there. Looked like once again he took that one-on-one, puts the Ignite down, however, knew. That's a good bind.
That's a good bind indeed. The Lantern is there to try and prevent any follow-up damage, but Katsuri has dropped to half and surely has to consider going back.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, that's what I was saying. Bottom lane's winning so well. Top lane, even Swiper, played that matchup very, very nicely. You know, took his dues when they sent 3 members up there to try and camp him. You got to let the side of the map that's winning win. But Claire looking for his play at the same time, kind of gives the win condition back over the Direwolves. As Get Back now on this Silas, one of the strongest picks in the meta, very far ahead.
We talk about gold leads. It is still a gold lead for the Chiefs, however. That 1k all in favor of this man here. It's Raze on Israel. Looking to get some more plating as we hit the 10-minute mark. And, well, for the most part, the bottom lane of Direwolves have been stuck. They've been sat at their tower, forced to deny as much CS being lost as possible, but they're getting bullied. Yeah,
they certainly are. You can see once again, it's Totoro opting to leave the lane. You know, he's not sticking around. He's not giving them the 2v2 opportunities. He's instead trying to impact the map, and that just means Katsuri is falling further and further behind. You got to feel for the young AD carry, because he really is being picked on here. Looks like he's only got the shard plus the longsword. Yeah. Once again, not going towards that tier build. Instead, they go mid lane one more time.
They do indeed. They are now just looking to hard farm clear. The 3rd diff in a row gets picked on up. It's going to be Sejuani claiming Rise onto that one. Goes for the sweeper, looking to claim top lane river control and keep this Tahm Kench as well as Get Back as their focal point, given that bot lane is losing so heavily.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like, right? This was a really nice gank setup there as we catch the back end. It was once again the flash used from Raze in conjunction with the ultimate. They knew that Claire didn't have any summoner spells to be able to escape that one. Didn't have the flash to be, the ignite to be able to trade back either. So that means it's going to be Rift Herald going down. But once again, it's at the cost of all this pressure bottom lane. 30 CS and 3 plates now, and Raze is just bullying Katsuri.
He really, really is. They're looking to try and finalize this one. They go with a lot of damage. The stopwatch having to be used, and to good effect as well. That's a beautiful dodge. So the hook was surely to land, and that would have given them a big opportunity to go for the full-on commit. But one point I do want to discuss, Spawn, is we talk about the damage, or say the kill count being 4-1. Well, 3 of those on Sejuani.
Yeah, I mean, it is very good, however, because Sejuani is going to have to be beefy, probably going to be solo frontlining against this Ezreal, who is really fed right now. However, they do drop the Herald mid lane, and that is a very questionable decision because bottom lane will be able to rotate to this play if they want. And Raze just solos Totoro.
He picks it up. He doesn't have the TP, but he did actually have to burn the flash to make that play happen. Now, let's look at this defense. 3 versus 2. If you count the Rift Herald, that is a 3v3, but they deny it being fallen on down. Bit of plating is destroyed in the process, but I suppose the reason I highlight that point about Sejuani is if we do discuss what the analyst desk mentioned about Direwolves being a late game team, they need to try and make sure that they are strong enough in the mid game to fend off Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely the case. We have a look at what Totoro was trying to achieve here. Goes in, puts down his ultimate, hoping to draw turret aggro, drags him through the box, but that's going to be a rough 1v1 as support versus AD carry.
Close.
Generally doesn't go in the support's favor. However, now Biopanther looking for Swiper here.
Yes, Swiper is forced to respond with the ultimate to make sure that he's no casualty in this situation. Still very even in terms of CS, however.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think that Swiper's kind of done his job right. He was just up there to be a brick. They had to blind pick his lane. That was a counter pick on the Tahm Kench. Only fell down once. Tahm Kench has had no map impact. And that means they're just going to send Raze now up into this top lane. Like, good luck 2v1ing this Ezreal, who right now is just so far ahead. You can see it's like a 1,400 gold lead, and I expect every single cent of that to be on this Ezreal.
This is when Chiefs will start to look to come online, going into the 15-minute window. Going for a second turret. A minute to try and get the plating down and try and get that gold lead up higher than the 1,500 that it currently stands at.
You can see once again, Raze just trading so much for this turret plating, relentlessly shoving in. As you mentioned, he knows he only has 50 seconds left to try and get some more plates. Now Ayla in behind, however, it's going to be Raze up here defending his top laner. And Swiper actually playing into Getpack, who right now doesn't have ultimate, so Swiper should be able to bully this lane.
Be interesting to see how they do decide to go, if they do go toe-to-toe. Their lane seems to be a bit of a priority, however, for the side of the Direwolves as they convene to what is now going to be another Drake. This time it's going to be the swiftness of mobility to roam around.
Yeah, and
Cloud
this
Drake.
is kind of interesting. Both of these top laners, mid lane as well as top, you know, Swiper versus Getback, both don't even have brown bags. They're sitting on bootsless. They're walking around like hobos. Like, they have no shoes on at all. And that's very strange for Getback in particular, who's in the long lane. You would expect if you're playing bottom lane without turret, you would at least want to have boots 1. You can see Fire Panther actually has completed tabbies up there in the top lane. But very interesting to see a Sylas without any boots.
He's got baby boots in the proto belt. Does that count?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. Hardly boots at all. Like, look how far, like, let's pretend for whatever reason, like, Ayla gets in behind him, going to be able to slow him with that Lucent Singularity, just going to be able to continue to work down. If he doesn't have anything to dash with, that's a long way to walk back.
Yeah.
Swiper about to be ganked. You see the on-the-way pings, actually, they go in down bottom lane.
Just destruction.
Yeah, so rough we can't even watch it.
So rough. No ultimate, no flash, no nothing at that situation. Does have the boots, though, so he's evolved from the hobo. He is a real boy. A real man.
Absolutely, and we'll see now whether Direwolves can actually even up this turret. Because this was a big question, you know. The Chiefs looked so dominant in their game yesterday versus Mammoth. We see the replay. Actually, that's just really nice layered CC there out of Raze and Totoro. Probably should have given the kill to get back because Swiper wasn't getting away. But not going to be the case. That's a now 4-1 Sejuani. More importantly, probably, Get Back does take solo turret gold. And what I was going to mention is that the Chiefs were in complete control over Mammoth. You know, we're expecting these two teams to be very far up towards the top of the leaderboards. I think it's a very fair comment to make. However, no one knows how this Direwolves lineup is going to go. Direwolves are a confident organization. They've brought these guys in to make worlds. And yesterday, rocky start versus Legacy. However, we've now seen Legacy, no slouches in their own right. So trying to gauge the power level of this lineup is quite difficult. But they are right now toe-to-toe with the Chiefs at 15 minutes, and they do have a very nice scaling composition.
And it would be an incredibly humbling thing to see if you brought in what is essentially a brand new team, to see them gel that quickly up against what is one of the strongest, and has been one of the strongest organizations for such a long time in the OPL.
Yeah, I mean, everything aside, people thought that the Chiefs deserved that spot in the OPL final versus the Bombers last split. They were the only team with a winning record versus the Bombers. They were, you know, blown out by Order. It was a 3-0, but that was more, you know, Order's day versus the Chiefs' probably worst day. A lot of people were saying. So I think that it's a very fair comment to say, you know, Chiefs Esports Club fans have very high expectations for what is a veteran lineup, with maybe the exception of Ayla. But he just came in and immediately clicked with this team, right? And he's having a terrific performance as well this game. Still the two shining points right now do seem to be the bottom lane of Raze and Ayla. And it's really that farming jungler of Only that has caught me by surprise, because he hasn't really done anything.
No.
He was up, you know, 20 CS at the start of the game. Well, now he's still up, you know, 20-odd CS, but he's just down 4 kills.
Yeah, you're looking for presence. You're trying to see what has he actually done from an impact standpoint. It's, well, I'm going to power farm. You know, I'm level 11 to level 10. There was a significant moment where 2 levels were there, but it has definitely come to a bit of a lull.
Yeah, this was level 5 to level 3, 20 CS up when the Sejuani only had 20 CS.
Yeah.
But credit to Raze has been able to play the map, on, find the plays on the map. And you can see right now, Direwolves are pushing all 3 lanes. This is just a full court press, and slowly but surely these turrets are falling down.
Clear in a situation where he has to be careful because that tower will fall very shortly. The Glacial Prison comes out. The TP to try and buy some time. Dodges up the hook from the Fresh. They're going to make sure that they can try and collapse onto this one. Everybody is here in place. The box goes down. They're going to try and find that kill. Katsuri gets locked in place, but it is going to be the kill from Israel that finds it as Hekrem finally makes his mark. The stamp is sealed on towards that map. They've gone for 2 so far. They've gone for a triple, excuse me. It's a double kill, all things said and done. This is what the Chiefs are known for, and this is what the Chiefs do.
Yeah, absolutely. Really decisive team fight victory there for the Chiefs. Once again, it is a botched top turret dive. That will swing the gold 3,000. They'll also pick up all of the top forest as well as the tower. Brilliant play there from the Chiefs.
That must feel good after what was a situation, I suppose, really, with Direwolf slowly pushing their agenda across the map, and I mean, just look how it all set up.
Yeah, and they didn't need to go for this. I mean, this turret should have fallen down with the Demolish proc. You can see Totoro actually misses that. Katsuri dives in, takes his whole health bar in damage. Just gets nothing done here on the back end. It's going to be only. And the scary thing about all that, Ayla kind of did nothing. This was a genuine 4v5 for the entirety of it. Ayla's just, you know, playing Shepherd, making sure that the dive was always going to be available and cutting off any form of escape there for Raze. So really well played by the Chiefs, and not even at full power.
Not at full power whatsoever, and I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that they thought that the tower was a certain goner. It was going to fall on down, and that Claire was the one that was in so much trouble, but the immediate response from the Chiefs to come in there and say, we're not afraid of this, we will go. And you know, between the True Shot Barrage and the Lux Laser, there was no escape for a very dive-deeping Kaiser.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that was kind of just Katsuri hitting the go button when didn't necessarily have to. My goodness, the damage that is coming out of Raze now onto the 80 carry is just straight up disgusting. Top turret, however, will fall down finally.
This is the Raze way, though, right? Rushing that Ludens, keeping it on the Sheen for the most part, going for the Sork Boots and just pumping out damage from afar because he's a sniper when it comes to those skill shots.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's a full item ahead right now of Katsuri. Ultimate will land.
Does full set the flash of response and a turnaround once again. Are we just having deja vu moments? Because Raze just picks up a solo kill. Well, I shouldn't even say a solo kill. Just picks up the 1 kill. Easy as can be.
That was really nicely played. I mean, Ayla has to burn both summoners, but you could see, you know, it's exactly what we're talking about. As soon as you get locked in an animation against Lux, able to get the bind down, all of that turnaround damage. This is another one of those long-range poke comps that teams want to play on the current patch, and means that they now can just sit there and fling their abilities at the mid lane turret. And my goodness, it's just so much damage.
Only coming for the drive-by. Maybe looking to pick up some McDonald's on his way. Doesn't find it. But Raze is so low.
Fire Panther, however, coming in mid lane. Want to go forward here.
They want to go forward indeed.
This is everything.
He charges forward. He gets the Lantern out for the insurance policy, but they have to be careful right now because Chiefs do want to get aggressive. They want to chase on here to Fire Panther that has a meaty shield. He's stunned. He's locked. He's got the team in support. He's locked in animations. Gets dropped down to a 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely does. And you can see right now that Totoro has not been able to land any of his hooks in this game. So many opportunities to be able to catch people off guard. But it's always the Chiefs dodging out on the skill shots and a little bit of misexecution here. You can see trying to push back in now. They are finding themselves at a 5,000 gold deficit right now, Skimmy, and not really winning any of these 5v5 fights.
No. And, you know, you talk about a 20 CS lead for the Hecarim. Well, it's built up to a 40 CS lead right now, despite the kills being so good in Sejuani. And I suppose this, for me, was my big concern. We know that the Chiefs are a team that come online in the mid-game. If you give all that power to a Sejuani, great in a late game, but, you know, you need this damage, which just seemed to be lacking for the Direwolves, especially in that breaking point for me, being that top tower dive.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you're running a super tank in the top lane, right? You've got yourself, you know, the makings of what probably is a Spirit Visage, you know, Thorn Mail coming in for Biopanther. This isn't going to be Tiamat. You know, no damage whatsoever out of the Tahm Kench. And I think, you know, that just bodes further problems right now for the Direwolves lineup because you need this Silas, who's now down in CS and down in 2 kills. You need this Kai'Sa, who's so far behind, like an item and a half behind Raze right now. To really be dishing out damage in these fights, and it is just not happening.
It's just not happening, and the sustain is there. And Raze especially very, very happy. We talk about a lack of protection for him. Well, sometimes a good defense is a fantastic offense, and it seems to be proving invaluable for them right now as they're able just to get in your face, cut off avenues, and abuse the fact that, yeah, straight up, you are weaker.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to take a look at the gold for a little bit of a moment, because this is a full AP Ezreal that is up 3,700 gold.
Disgusting.
Nearly 4,000 gold as this wave is going to fall down in completion. And, you know, large portion. It is. He's a gold lead right now. Everywhere else is pretty much even.
But hang on a minute. The 1v1 will take place. The flash! Ooh, the flash for the flash. Get back 40 had something up his sleeve. He was definitely keen to make something happen there.
Looks like Baron's actually been started here. Only is very low, so they have to be careful. Tahm ultimate is there. However, instead...
Bear in mind, Get Back does have teleport. Swiper doesn't. Has gone for... Actually, no, he's actually denied the reset. Gone back to push bottom lane, knowing that his teleport is up very shortly. So looking to try and get some singular pressure in the bot lane and give themselves some passive pushing power.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Get Back completed that teleport, which means now BioPanther has to match him. And very nice play there from the Chiefs to just bait out one of those important cooldowns. Really interested that Rage is actually going for Lich Bane this game, not Trinity Force. So straight AP damage on this Ezreal.
Very confident in his ability to make sure that if you get in your face, yeah, you're going to fall on down. There's no time to sit around and auto-attack. And a part of me wants to say maybe he's got a little bit of flashbacks from yesterday. Twice did he stand still to try and get off an auto. Twice was he punished heavily.
Yeah, and now BioPanther being collapsed on here by 2 members.
Only jumps in. Clear gets amongst it as well. BioPanther, such a beefy target. Not going to be the case for them there as Kaiser rocks up as well, but a bit of a non-factor given how fast she is at those items.
Yeah, however, you see right now, complete control of the jungle has been gained by the Chiefs. They're looking for that pick-off. It's going to be very split members of the Wolfpack. However, we'll be able to get themselves a Scuttle Crab, which is a big deal here. We'll give them vision over the eventual Dragon startup. It is only in air, so I don't expect it to be fought.
This is getting melted. No contest whatsoever. Guaranteed Dragon for the side of the Chiefs. Looks nice on their record right there. I feel like, quite honestly, Spawn, we're not going to see a big team fight until Alexa Baron, at least until some key items are built to try and even out the scales.
Yeah, it's going to have to either be a pick-off on the side of Direwolves or the fight initiated by the Chiefs, because you're exactly right. When your 80 carry is a full item down, there's no way that you're opting in for these 5v5s. Especially, you know, if a buy-in lands, Razor's ultimate should be enough to just, I mean, honestly wipe anyone off the map, maybe apart from the top side. However, it is going to be Thornmail picked up for BioPanther right now. So he's a big boy. He's got himself 3,000 health and, you know, 200-odd armor.
Yeah, 257 to be specific. That's a lot of mitigation. Pretty hard to take him out.
Especially given the fact that he has 2 health bars, right? Level 14, he's got so many. He's going to start stacking up the points now into the great health as well. So going to be pretty difficult to be able to take him down.
Well, based on the fact that Sejuani got unlocked online so early on, has already got that Warmog. So you talk about a front line being heavy. It's going to become more and more relevant as the game does go on. So I suppose the ball really is in the court so far for the Chiefs.
I like this play out of Direwolves. You can see that they're actually shadowing Katsuri in behind. As now, however, Totoro caught out.
Once again in a situation forced to burn that box. Does flash away.
What I was saying is Katsuri was actually shadowing in bottom lane, trying to look for a pick on Swiper, because he has the teleport available as well, right? Can be able to rejoin these fights on the opposite side of the map. And if they take down Swiper, then really does give themselves the ability to either continue to push bottom lane, force Chiefs to start Baron, or maybe even teleport towards the objective themselves. But Direwolves just haven't been able to find anything after a very active mid-game, you know, from about 10 to 15 minutes, where they got a lot of ganks rolling. Since then, it really has been all the Chiefs after that top lane dive went awry.
We love to see BioPanther exude just how strong he is, how much of a beefy target, how many members he can try and draw away from the Chiefs to prevent this Baron being picked up, to try and draw this game out any longer. To give Direwolves the invaluable time they need for this man here, the Katsuri Kaiser, desperately farming, down 60 CS, hunting. Well, does have the Ginsus now, but hunting for that third item to try and even put up with what is soon to be a 4th completed for Raze.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Raze's items just do more damage in the short term. Going for that full AP poke build means that, you know, just 1 Q has to land and he's going to be a very big nuisance. However, they're going in.
Big attempt there with the Glacial Prison as they dash across. Flash has to be burned though by Claire, and Elliot just goes absolutely insane. The laser comes across. You are not running away from that one. Only! Well, he jumps across and he picks up Get Back. That is a 2-kill advantage so far in favor of the Chiefs. They have found their moment and they are looking to take it big. They want to go for more. You can see that BioPanther is behind enemy lines looking to try and bait members away, but surely the call has to be made. Let's get Baron. Let's try and do something this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is going to be a 3v5. They can just have Ayla try and run goalie. 15 seconds still on Katsuri, so should not be able to impact this. It's going to have to be a steal from Raze. 3,000 health now.
I don't think they have it. Oh, he actually lines up in towards Lux's laser, only comes across, flees him across the wall. BioPanther is just such a monster. He's 1v3, just taking on members. He gets a double kill. Are you joking? What a monster.
Yeah, and now Katsuri teleports back in, but with Jungler still available, this should once again be the Chiefs Baron. I don't know whether Katsuri can actually even approach this objective. You can see so scared on the back end. Maybe looks for a snipe with the W, but get back not going to be there in time, and the Baron should fall for the Chiefs.
Picked up clean as can be. A 7k gold lead now in favor of the Chiefs. 13 kills to 7, double their counterparts. They have the Drakes, they have the money, they've got the items and the bounties their spawn. Now I want to see a situation where we are pushing, and we're pushing decisively. Yeah,
I mean, this was just a really unfortunate fight because you have to take it. You know they're on Baron. You've got 3 versus 5. BioPanther is actually taking 3 members' time. However, Raze is too strong, only at this stage of the game. Also going to be able to contribute very meaningfully in these team fights. And you can see that that's going to be a death cap completed. So now 2 items ahead for Raze over Katsuri. This 80 carry is starting to become a problem for the Direwolves lineup.
Make it stop. It's painful. There is a lot of pain. There is no Infernal Drake, so we're not going to see any amplification above what we have so far. But yeah, Raze really is in a disgusting situation where you come at him, you may not get to see another day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this game really needs like Katsuri getting like all of those bounties if they have any chance in coming back
100%.
into it. He needs like a quadra-kill shutdown on these members of the Chiefs. Direwolves trying to sneak himself a dragon with just Sent20 is a strange choice because the Chiefs are instead just going to knock on all of the doors. You can see take the turrets very, very quickly.
Nope, the first of the many outer turrets going in towards the base of mid lane is now being diminished.
And Mountain Drake gets you nothing.
It really doesn't at this stage.
Like, it's good against neutral creeps, which are not alive for the next 5 minutes, and turrets, which you're not hitting because they're sieging your base with Baron.
Yeah.
And now they know that there is at least 1 member not here, and the base should just be broken.
And they really just walk in hard. They go,
oh my goodness!
What is going on right here? They go for Katsuri. He's so damn low. Forced to pop that flash. He can't do much. He's in the fountain. He gets taken out. Raze is unstoppable.
Certainly is. And once again, they flash forward.
They go forward and they go big about it. They're looking for a second kill. Can they get it? The laser! They sidestep, but Swipper is there. And he hacks and slashes his way to victory as they look for more. The inhib is there. The super minions, Baron empowered, are doing work. Now they turn their attention onto the chef that is BioPanther. Tanky as he is, it's just not enough.
Yeah, it certainly is not, and the Chiefs should just close out the game here. That's going to be the ace, and the Chiefs will pick up their victory.
This time, Raze is big, but this time he can close things out. 18 kills to 7. The Chiefs find the victory that they needed. The Chiefs get the job done, and it's business as usual.
Certainly is, so only going to be, split 1-1s across the board, I believe. Mammoth pick up the 2 wins for the weekend.
Yep.
And Direwolves there, I mean, really strange mid to late game decision making, to be honest, and not able to kind of go with the consistent pressure that the Chiefs put on you. Because they are that team fight team. They are the group up team. And, you lose one of them, you make one mistake, you dive one top lane turret incorrectly, and they're just able to swing the complete momentum of that game. Never go back into the 1-3-1 deploy, instead just continually pressuring around these big objectives.
Stalling and stalling and stalling again, but Katsuri just never found a moment where he could actually say, look guys, I am of some relevance. And quite honestly, Raze punished him. I think no better example than that final moment where he's locked in the base thinking, I need to heal up so I can try and put up some form of defense. Yep. Raze is like, it's not going to happen. I am so, so strong. Based on the fact that he's AP, that ultimate, I mean, he could have been healed up to full health. Would have chunked him down heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's just a terrific performance from Raze. We said he had a great early game. yesterday. Dropped it in the late game. Well, this time around, I mean, like, took first turret, was able to have so much pressure in the bottom lane. I even think First Blood went over to him and ends the game something ridiculous, like 6-0 and 9.
Flawless.
Yeah, it was a flawless performance. Really, really well played from Kunny K.
Well, Raze up against Raze. That was the tongue twister matchup that we managed to get through it somehow. And I'm sure Nick, with all of his wonderful insight from all the beautiful emails that he receives, has some insight with some gentlemen on a couch.
Indeed we do. I mean, Chiefs would be happy with that. Some rough patches in mid and top, but they managed to work through it.
I mean, Jake kind of said it, right? Like praising Raze. That was once again a very good game, but he really was the pin. And I think with like Only in the Jungle had a very good game, and as did the support Naylor. But those three were really hanging themselves in the game, right? Because solo lanes, Renekton into Tahm Kench, a little bit of a rough time. Claire, I don't know about some of the deaths that were happening. The old cheeky solo kill, he kind of just hit S and died. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't really know what's going on. But once they had the advantage, like you said, turned it all around.
He just stood still and copped it for that first 1v1 to the silence. It was a bit confusing to watch sometimes with Claire, but there's a couple of takeaways for me from that game. One was it was a good day to be named Raze, because they both had pretty good games, of course, up until the end where the Chiefs just proved to be the better team. Claire wasn't exactly having a very good day, but the promise of the Chiefs is still there. And the other thing that I want to take away from it is, and it's not any fault of Swipers, but during the game, I basically just said to you guys, it's not a good day to be Swiper, but he's doing it so well. Like he's in a matchup where he got ganked early, it was rough, but he was able to weather that storm and play the Renekton against the Tahm Kench, who got the early lead, and still be serviceable, which is just something that Swiper is always very good at doing.
Rocking the top.
And Direwolves, indeed, I mean, this is, not the outcome that they would have wanted for this, but last split Direwolves would not have lasted this long in this match.
Yeah, certainly not the case. They've got to start the season off 1-1. Kind of sitting in the middle with a lot of the teams in the OPL. We'll probably take a look at the results after this. But yeah, I feel like a bunch of the players coming in, gelling, it is just all about that time. I really like that they are playing stuff like the Tahm Kench. Panther is a guy that's been on the roster for a very long time now, but it's in his wheelhouse, right? He picks up the Mundo when it's kind of on the fringe of the meta. The Tahm Kench feels that very sort of similar role in that sort of style. So they're doing Direwolves-esque things from what we've seen from the old roster, bringing in a bunch of new guys, and you want to see it go onwards and upwards.
All right, fantastic. Well, let's take a look back at the results from today's series of games. We've got Gravitas versus Mammoth. Mammoth took out game number 1. Legacy toppling Order in game 2. Bombers versus Avant. Bombers came out with the win there, and as we just saw, Chiefs managed to take down the Direwolves.
Which does mean, Nick, that from this weekend, Blue Side's won 7 out of the 8 games played.
All right, there could be something in that. I think there definitely is something in that. Numbers don't lie, Bryce.
That is the case.
I always say this to you.
Numbers
you
don't
never
lie.
listen. I always say this. All right, are we doing the preview for next week? Yes, we are. Next Friday, please join us for more OPL action. Chiefs take on Gravitas. Avant versus Legacy. Direwolves up against Order, and then Mammoth take on Bombers. That should be a very exciting day. Be a League of Legends fan.
Yeah, and you can see the scoreboards with a bunch of the teams there. I feel like coming into this split, you know what I mean? We are through a single week. This is the first one of the split, but Gravitas sitting at the bottom of the ladder alone with a 0-2. You have everybody else sitting at 1-1, and then Mammoth coming out definitely wanted a strong start to the season, and they're just at the top dogs right now, sitting with a 2-0.
And you know what's great is I would have looked at this and been like, Legacy versus Direwolves last split was like the inverse banger. It wasn't the one that you really wanted to watch, but you were so excited to watch it, where now, no matter what the matchup is, I am super curious to see like what happens, because it feels like more level just in general as the playing field.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be alive. There will be another exciting time to be alive, and that's roughly 10 to 11 weeks' time. That is the Melbourne Esports Open. You should come along to that, because we're all going to be there. Jake's going to be there. I'm fairly certain, though, we've muted his microphone, so we can't talk about Melbourne. Head to melbourneesportsopen.com.au/tickets to pick up your tickets to the second best city in the country. Oh, God, he's coming over here. Again,
wrap it up.
Massive thank you to our sponsors, McDonald's, the official partner of the OPL.
Melbourne's the best.
M-Wave, the official retailer of the OPL. HyperX, the official headset of the OPL. And, of course, a big thank you to Sydney, the official Sydney of the OPL. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us and hanging out. There is more hanging out to do, though, because we're going to go play.
Get your 4 bloody friends. Nick plays League. Get your 4 friends. Get ready to queue up. Sit in the lobby. And I promise, personally, I'll be there in Twitch chat. I'll tell you when to queue up.
Yep.
So you get optimum snipe territory.
Get those friends even if they secretly hate you.
Get your friends and come lose to us because we haven't lost yet.
We haven't lost
Yeah,
yet.
break the streak.
We are undefeatable.
Nick's OP.
A big thank you to everyone for watching. We'll see you in 5 minutes for Nick Plague's League.